Okay, so today the laksa that I'm gonna try is the one that is at One Best Corner, the one at Trinity Hub. It is the one and only laksa store that actually gave quite a lot of variety. You can order up to like 20 ringgit of laksa, and it is insane the variety you can choose. But the one that I go for, that I'm gonna keep it consistent, is always gonna be the medium sized laksa. It needs to have prawn, it needs to have egg, it needs to have a little bit of chicken meat on top, something like that. So without further ado, let us try the laksa. The presentation looks kind of bad, not gonna lie. I think it is because of the way they played it. I felt like the bowl is a little bit too wide. It almost felt like the plating seems very lacking, very lazy, simply put in a sense. So the plating, the presentation, I'm just gonna give it like a two. So the topping is quite generous from what I can see. We got three prawns, so that is a good thing for me. And the best thing about the prawn is that it is already deveined, but if you look carefully, you would thought that they are deveined completely, but they might not be the case. They only devein like maybe like the beginning part of the prawn, but not entirely the entire prawn itself. So that is something that you might want to notice when you are eating the prawn. So they are not fully deveined. So minus mark for that. I'm gonna give it a 4, but after I notice this minor mistake, I'm gonna give it like a 3 mark. So how about the soup? The soup is very less. Like they give very little soup. So if you like soup, this is a downside for you. I'm just gonna taste the soup right now. It tastes very similar to the one that we had in the previous video, the one at Golden Arch Cafe. It tastes creamy, and I prefer this one because it has a lot more spiciness towards it compared to the one that at Golden Arch. So the soup is way more spicier, which I really love. So that is a plus, definitely a plus. How about the bihun? The bihun, like I said, I prefer a thicker one, and this is definitely a thicker cut of the bihun itself. So I just by the looks of it, I already enjoy it more than the Golden Arch Cafe one. So let me try. Mm. Mm. No complaint from me according to the bihun. The best thing about this place, they give you egg. The egg is present in the laksa, and the way they cut the egg is thinly sliced. It is not as a huge chunk compared to the one that we had in Golden Arch. So this is actually kind of good as well. I actually prefer like thinly sliced egg because when you are scooping up your bihun, it actually flows along with the bihun itself. So it doesn't feel like you need to purposefully take out a chunk just to eat it, something like that. So that is really good. I really enjoy it. But I haven't tasted the prawn. I'm gonna taste it later after this bite. Mm. Laksa. There's a debate out there, kind of like discussing what food is the best, like which version of the laksa is best. I'm gonna tell you, the best laksa is always gonna be the Sarawak laksa. Okay, but let me test the prawn. Is it fresh or is it not fresh at all? Mm. Really fresh. This is really fresh prawn. Very good. I like it. I really did not expect this little corner laksa store to be so good. I really love it, especially the prawn. The prawn is actually quite fresh. It has a little bit of springiness to the texture, so that is definitely a plus. Overall, this has to be a really good laksa. Like averagely, this is what you would expect from a laksa itself. So that is all from me. I'm gonna move on to the next store after I finish this one. So I'm gonna see you guys in the next store. See you guys there. Okay, so at the second store, I have the best corner Sean's Laksa. It is just opposite One Best Corner over there. And I feel like a lot of people is gonna be very confused. Like, how come there is like the best corner and one best corner? How do I differentiate that? This is Trinity Hub. So the one that is closer to 7-Eleven is one best corner. The one that is closer to Taka is the best corner, something like that. Okay, so this is Sean's Laksa. The presentation looks really good. I actually quite like the presentation, especially with all the little black dots that you see on top of the laksa itself. And that is the identity of a laksa, because a laksa is the reason why it's called laksa. Sa in Mandarin means sand. So it's supposed to feel a little bit sandy when you are actually trying to eat the laksa itself. So I feel like they actually nails the presentation here. Me personally don't like they call it the xiang chai, but I call it the chow chai. Okay, I really don't like this, but I appreciate that they actually give it, and the presentation, they actually make an effort to make it looks good. They have the egg on the tofu cloth. They have the chicken meat on the other side, and then they have the prawn on the other side as well. So this is quite an interesting plating system. It almost reminds me of a ramen plating system. So that is something that I really appreciate. The soup for this round looks very different compared to the one that we tasted the past few stores that we actually tested. This one seems very murky, very oily. So I don't know, man. Like, if you are planning to come here and eat and try the laksa, that might be a consideration for you to actually consider. Like, is it worth it for you to finish drinking the soup? Because every single time when I eat laksa, I'm gonna finish the soup no matter what. But just wanna let you know right off the bat, the soup is very oily. So I'm gonna start with the soup. Okay, I'm just gonna see how it tastes like. Okay. It's it's very sweet. Like this, come on, man. Like this is supposed to be laksa, and laksa is supposed to be spicy, but this is like full on sweet, man. Like I don't taste any spice at all. I will be adding the extra spice and try again. Hopefully, it actually spice up the entire soup, because the soup so far I taste is really delicious, but it is not laksa. It is not spicy. Okay, that is a problem. Still same. Even after adding a little bit of the sambal, I still felt like the spiciness is not enough. Like I felt like the oil really overload my tongue right now. Like I couldn't taste anything else other than the oil. So that is one very bad thing. Like I felt like maybe it's also because of the timing that I came to eat the laksa. Now it's like 11:20, and so maybe they are reaching the very end of their soup stock already. But this is really oily. So next time when you come here to try Sean's laksa, that is something that you might want to keep in mind. But other than that, it tastes pretty good if you don't mind the oiliness. How about next? Next, I want to talk about the bihun. The bihun is the thick bihun. Love it. Really love to see that. But is it gonna be nice? Okay, is it gonna be nice? I love this bihun. I feel like this one is cooked into a more softer texture compared to the one that we tasted previously. It's very smooth to the mouth, very easy to bite, very easy to swallow. I'm not a chewer, okay? Like I don't really like to chew my food when I'm eating. So this is actually really good for me, because when I put into my mouth, after a few bites, I can just swallow it, and this is really good. I really enjoy the bihun. It's soft, cooked, and the texture that the bihun is being cooked is the one that I like. Okay, but you might not like it. Maybe you prefer al dente bihun, but I love like a more softer bihun for myself. Mm. Really, really good. Now, for the main dish, the prawn. When I saw the prawn, my first impression is like, damn, this prawn is small, really, really small, but it looks really fresh. The thing is that the prawn looked really, really fresh. So I'm holding my criticism on the prawn. If this is actually really, really fresh prawn, that is gonna be really, really amazing. But sadly to say, they didn't actually devent the prawn for me. But I don't actually see any black thing on the prawn itself, so I'm just gonna bite it in half and see whether or not the black thing is inside the prawn or not. Okay, the prawn is actually really fresh, like pretty fresh. Okay, not like super duper fresh, but it's chewy. It has a little of springiness to the texture itself, and I don't see any black thing in the prawn itself. So it really, really makes me wonder how do they actually devent this prawn? Like they actually keep the shape of the prawn and yet manage to take away the black thing from the prawn itself. So this is a plus mark for me. The freshness of the prawn and there's no black thing in the prawn, so that is definitely a good thing for me. And I don't know, man. Like this is surprisingly good. I think the only one downside to this prawn, this laksa itself, has to be the soup. The soup is too oily. So up until the point that when you drink it, you can only taste the oil. So that is definitely something that you might not want. Okay, so um, I'm gonna finish this, and I'm gonna say by the time I finish this, whether or not I have the room for another laksa, if I have room for another bowl of laksa, we're gonna see you there at the next stall. But if there is no other, how do I say, other size, other space for me for another bowl of laksa, then this is the end, okay? But I'm just gonna finish this. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one.